My name's Dwight Bennett. I was in equine medicine here for 30 years, beginning in 1973, and Steve and I go way back. I think so far for a roast this has been entirely too complimentary. Steve and I, for several years, were together on the hospital board here. He was head of oncology, I was head of the equine section. And we used to bicker a lot. We got kind of famous for that. What are Bennett and Withrow going to argue about today? And then one day, Steve wasn't at the board meeting. This was way before the days of cell phones. We all carried these little pagers, and you could call anybody and talk to them, and whatever you said would be broadcast to whoever could hear it. So right in the middle of the meeting, my pager started to talk to the whole room. It was Steve's voice, and he said, "Bennett, you jerk, do you miss me?" Shortly before that, the Withrows and we were in Jackson, Wyoming. Steve and I were at a meeting there. And my wife and I went to dinner with Steve and Sue and Katie and Palmer. How old are you, Palmer? This must have been 30 years ago or something. You were a little tiny, but you're 32. So this was at least 31 and a half years ago. We were in this restaurant in Jackson, Wyoming, and little Palmer was raising hell, as only a teething several-month-old baby can. And Steve was kind of embarrassed by this. And I remember the waiter came to our table, said, "What do you want to drink?" And Steve said, "To hell with what we want to drink. Bring me some ice cream to calm this kid down."
Thank you very much. I like this guy. I like where this is going to. So we need more of this. We'll have Dr. Bill Lump come on the stage for a second. So, wonderful. And don't worry, everybody can say something, so fantastic. You're okay? Great. Look at this.
Yeah, if you would. I won't proselytize Ohio State here. I'll take my hat off. I came to CSU in 1954, and so as you can tell, the faculty is getting older and older here. My story with Steve begins in about 1982, and at that point, several of us here in the clinic would go pheasant hunting over in Nebraska, north of Oberlin, Kansas, right on the Nebraska line. And Steve showed up one day, and he had this new hunting dog with him. Now, one of the things that we did while we were over there was to trade off people who were cooks. And so on this particular morning, I was the cook, and I was cooking those delicious sausages and bacon and scrambled eggs and hot cakes. And while I was doing this in the kitchen, the other guys were assembling in the next room by a table getting ready to eat breakfast. And suddenly, here this dog of Steve's showed up, and he sat right in the doorway between the two rooms. And he looked kind of mournful, and I thought, gee, maybe he wants a pancake. So I picked up a pancake, and I tossed it at him, and any normal dog would have just reached up and grabbed it like that, you know. But this dumb dog, he sat there, and the pancake hit him on top of the head. And not only did it hit him on the top of the head, but it stuck there. and so you can imagine the howls of derision from all of hunting pals about Steve's wonderful hunting dog, you know. Well, as it turned out, that was the last time that that dog went hunting with us. Now, in honor of that occasion, would you please take that out, please? I have made a priceless plaque here. It has on it a pancake, and it says, "Hunting Dog Tester." I present that to you, that priceless gift, with great appreciation.
Thank you so much. You're forgetting Ohio State here. There you go. All right, they're running on stage now. Great. Come on, come on. Fantastic. Hi, Diana. Or Dana. Oh, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing well. Thank you. My name is Dana Durrance. I used to be a grief counselor here from 1995 to 2001. That was called the Changes Program back then. Now it's the Argus Institute. But I have a story. I was very new to the Changes Program, maybe there for about a month. And Steve brings in a client, and she's just hysterical over her dog's illness and getting ready to go to surgery. And I'm trained as a counselor to never minimize a person's feelings. You know, you're always acknowledging those emotions and never making light of what they feel. Well, Steve says to this client, "Quit your crying, I can fix this." And I'm cringing in the corner. How can you say such a thing? And he leaves the room, and the lady says, "That's the most compassionate man I've ever met." Steve also helped me about 4 years ago when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and he was one of the first people I called. And I was scared, naturally, and after spending time talking with him, he told me everything was going to be all right, and I believed him, and everything has been all right. Thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic. This is so good. All right, before we go on, I just want to have a big hand of applause and a lot of noise for the EMTs and the police officers that are keeping us safe here. Excellent. Good job. And this is a wonderful friend of mine. She has taken so many pictures of me. And no, she's fantastic, and I'm happy that you're here.
Oh, I'm so happy you're here. Well, I'm Ginger Smith. I was in the photo department for 22 years and had a great time. I came here in 1985, and I got to see Steve when he was just running crazy, had a small group, and would frequently have parties in his office. Those aren't allowed anymore, I hear. But we also used to have some really wild things go on at the school. We had one especially that was pretty raunchy. It was called Putting on the Hits, and people would come up and lip sync and do different things. And it had gotten to where the faculty thought that looked like such a good time, and Dr. Voss was thinking he wanted to change careers. And so he decided to talk Steve and Dr. LaBelle, and I think it was either Dr. Johnson or Dr. Bennett, to go on the road. They were going to put together a group, and they were going on the road. They had watched the village people do YMCA, and they thought, we can do it better. There was nothing like Steve Withrow doing YMCA on the stage. Okay, show us. What was even funnier was I'm not sure they really knew what they were doing. So anyway, my wish to Steve is that he follow in the footsteps of someone that was very dear to a great many of you, and that was Al Kilminster. I know he's here watching us today. Al was the kind of person that he wore a lot of hats. He did a lot of different things, just like Steve has done. He's done so many things in this world that we didn't know about. So I'm going to pass along a hat that I have kept for 21 years, because it's now time for Steve to find a special reason to wear this hat, and it's Al's, and you get it. So thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. What a story. Is Steve leaving now? No. Great. He wants to. Okay. Anybody else? Oh, yeah, there's a whole line here. This is great. All right. Hello, sir. How are you? Great. Wonderful.
My name's Bruce Heath. I started anesthesia here in 68, 69. And a long time ago, we used to have a plaque up on the bricks on the wall in anesthesia that said Justa. And I have to say a couple of things. Your neckerchief that you all got says that anesthesia's job is to be scared, but anesthesia's job is also to wake them up. We usually keep things very quiet behind the scenes and as gentle as possible. Early in the career of Dr. Withrow from Saskatoon, he came to anesthesia with a cat. And the situation was, it was 5:30, and we were just getting ready to do a myelogram on the back that all of you know gets referred every Friday. And it was 5:30, the lab were closed, and the mission was to biopsy this cat. And Steve said, the owners are waiting in the waiting room until we're done. And by the way, it has end-stage kidney disease, we just discovered. It's anemic. It's 14 years old, and it's been fasted all day. But the best thing is, we're just going to biopsy it quickly. All of anesthesia signed this plaque. We reproduced your brick. That's yours.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Thank you so much.